Hey everyone, just a quick ask before we get into the newscast. If you really like Wake Up, I would love it if you gave us 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and drop a quick comment there to let people know about this newscast. It would really help people discover us. All right, on with the news. Wake up, Raleigh. I'm Matt Peiken, and this is your local newscast to close out the week for Friday, February 13th. Defense attorneys for Austin Thompson, who has pleaded guilty to 5 murders in the 2022 Hedingham neighborhood shooting, used testimony Wednesday to argue he showed few warning signs before the killings. 3 former teachers told a Wake County judge they saw no pattern of violence or serious academic struggles, describing him as quiet and conscientious. The defense also raised questions about whether the acne antibiotic minocycline and Thompson's genetics affecting medication processing could have contributed, though an expert said it's unclear. Thompson faces life in prison. Read more about this in the News and Observer. North Carolina regulators have approved hospital expansions in Wake County, allocating new acute care beds to WakeMed, Duke, and UNC. WakeMed received the largest share, 164 beds at its Raleigh flagship, in a roughly $430 million vertical and horizontal expansion. Duke Raleigh Hospital was cleared for 52 beds, about half of its request, at an estimated $29 million. UNC Health Rex won approval for 51 beds, costing $98 million. Proposals for new hospitals, including Novant's updated Nightdale plan, were denied again, and final certifications of need have not yet been issued. Read more about this in the Triangle Business Journal. Chatham Park, an 8,500-acre master plan development outside Pittsboro, is drawing intensifying scrutiny as it advances toward a build-out that could reshape the small town for decades. Plans call for up to 22,000 homes, extensive commercial development, and more than 1,300 acres of open space, growth that could effectively triple Pittsboro's current population. The project's scale has fueled local concerns about rising property taxes, housing affordability, and whether public oversight is keeping pace. Environmental and community groups are now suing the town over its approval of a major conceptual plan, arguing it limits accountability for future elected boards. Read more about this at WUNC. Formerly incarcerated black men in the Triangle are taking the runway this month to challenge assumptions about who they are and who they can become. Durham-based producer Henry Edwards II is staging I Am Successful Unfolding, a cinematic fashion event on Saturday, February 22nd from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Cookery in Durham. The program includes a short film, a fashion show themed around struggle, shift, arrival, and legacy, and a panel on reentry and support services. Panelists include reentry leaders and men who've rebuilt their lives after long sentences, emphasizing that a record is history, not identity. Read more about this in the Triangle Tribune. And Carolina Tiger Rescue in Pittsboro says it has euthanized Naveen, an 11-year-old tiger rescued from Oklahoma's Greater Wynwood Exotic Animal Park, the roadside zoo featured in Netflix's Tiger King. The sanctuary says Naveen's health declined in mid-December when keepers noticed he was retreating to his den and refusing food. Tests and observations later pointed to irreversible brain damage and strokes, with staff suspecting cancer or a brain tumor. The cause of his neurological symptoms remains unknown. Read more about this in the News and Observer. Our free newsletter is a quick local news digest, essentially this newscast in written form. Subscribe at wakeupral.transistor.fm. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Wake Up Raleigh, and please share this podcast with your friends who care about this city. I'm Matt Peiken. Thanks so much for starting your weekdays with Wake Up Raleigh.